Gaming, for a lot of us, is a huge social lifeline, right? But what happens when that lifeline gets all tangled up in a culture that can feel, well, pretty hostile to sobriety? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden architecture of sober gaming sanctuaries. We're talking about the intentional design that can turn a simple digital space into a real place of connection and recovery.
And it really all starts with this feeling, a feeling so many people in recovery know all too well. I saw this Reddit user put it perfectly. They said, "Sober gaming seems so much harder. I'm having a hard time keeping strong with the lack of like-minded socialization." It's that feeling, of being totally isolated, even when you're technically surrounded by people.
And that loneliness, that's a real risk. But here's the thought. What if the problem isn't actually the game itself? What if it's the space you're playing in? This is where we start to uncover how the right community, the right environment, can literally change everything.
Which brings us to this idea, the rise of what we're calling digital sanctuaries. These are intentionally created, safe third places online. You see, for gamers in recovery, there's this weird paradox. Gaming is an amazing social escape, but the mainstream culture around it can be super triggering. Digital sanctuaries are designed to solve exactly that problem.
So, what is a digital sanctuary, really? Well, think of it as a micro-community that's been intentionally engineered to support mental health and recovery. It does that by providing a trigger-free social environment. And here's the thing that almost no one talks about. These are not just some random Discord servers. The really good ones are strategically designed spaces, built from the ground up for psychological safety and real, genuine connection.
Because, at the end of the day, it's about finding your people. For gamers in recovery, finding a community of people who just get it is absolutely vital. It's that feeling of logging on and knowing you're with people like us, people who understand the journey without you having to explain a single thing. It's huge. Okay, so how do they work so well? That brings us to the psychology of connection. We're about to dive into the why, what makes these communities so effective. And it's not magic, it's actually a framework built on a really deep understanding of core human needs.
So check this out. It all points to a key insight from something called self-determination theory. Basically, research shows that addiction becomes way more likely when three basic psychological needs are frustrated in the real world. For all my strategists out there, this is the core logic, the foundation behind why a successful sober community strategy actually works.
And here they are, those three core needs. Let's just break them down real quick. First up is autonomy. It's that feeling of control. In these servers, you get that through things like self-assigned roles or customizing your profile. Second, we have competence, that feeling you get from mastering a skill. That's where gaming tournaments and achievement-based roles come into play. And finally, number 3, relatedness, just forming genuine social bonds. This happens naturally in themed chat channels and during collaborative events. It's a really clear, structured way to meet these fundamental human needs that might be missing somewhere else.
So, the most important point is this. Here's the simple version. A well-designed sober community completely flips the script. It turns gaming from a potential risk into a powerful tool for well-being. By fulfilling these core needs, these digital spaces basically compensate for what might be missing in real life, and that transforms gaming into a genuinely healing activity.
So that was the why. Now let's get into the how. Section 3, the architecture of safety. This is the actual blueprint, the step-by-step guide for building one of these psychologically safe spaces.
Okay, one of the biggest mistakes new community builders make, and I see this all the time, is creating a ghost town. They get excited and build dozens of channels, but with no one in them, the whole server just feels dead. So the safe and practical way to do this is with a phased growth strategy. You start small, maybe with just 5 to 8 core channels, to keep the conversation concentrated. This provides social proof that the community is actually alive and active. Then, you only add new channels as the community grows organically. It's a much smarter, more strategic approach.
And what do those essential starting channels look like? Well, you need a hashtag rules channel to set the tone, an hashtag introductions channel to break the ice, and a hashtag general chat for just casual connection. Of course, you need a looking for group channel to coordinate play, and crucially, a dedicated channel for hashtag recovery resources. But you know what really builds the community? It's the side channels for things like hashtag pets or hashtag hobbies. That's where people connect as whole human beings, not just as gamers in recovery.
Now, here is a real secret weapon, a little non-obvious trick. Gamifying recovery with Discord roles. And these aren't just labels. They're actually powerful tools for motivation and recognition. And this is how it works.
You create milestone roles for, say, 30 days, 6 months, or a year of sobriety. These give people visible proof of their progress. So when someone earns a new role, the entire community sees it and can celebrate their win. It creates this incredible positive feedback loop and a real sense of a shared journey. If you're the kind of person who loves seeing progress, this is everything.
And this is not just some feel-good idea. It's actually backed by data. Research has shown that celebrating these milestones makes a person 30% more likely to maintain their sobriety for over a year. So this isn't just about feeling good. It's a real strategy with a measurable long-term payoff. But listen, the goal here isn't just about avoiding triggers. It's so much bigger than that. It's about building a fun, fulfilling, sober life. It's about moving beyond just being sober and into a space of active joy. And this is what that actually looks like in practice. These communities are filled with activities focused on real connection. Things like trivia tournaments, movie nights, karaoke sessions, even collaborative in-game challenges. It directly pushes back against that old, tired misconception that being sober has to be boring.
The key, really, is this. When interactions are genuine, deeper connections just form. You don't need liquid courage to be social. You just need good people and a good activity. It's a simple but really reassuring truth.
So what we've really seen today is that a sober gaming community isn't a contradiction in terms at all. It's a digital sanctuary, one that's been engineered for recovery, but also designed for fun. It's a totally modern solution for that age-old human need for connection.
But, okay, having a safe space, that's only half the battle. What happens once you're actually in it? How do you protect your own energy and your recovery by setting healthy digital boundaries? That's the next critical layer we have to explore.
We're definitely going to dive into that in our next explainer. But for now, if you know a gamer, anyone, who might be feeling a little isolated, share this with them. You could be the one who connects them to a community that's out there just waiting for them.
If this touched your heart, please subscribe, like, and share it with your family. Save this for more meaningful content ahead.